Hello and welcome to my audit program development on the account inventory for the Warehouse Group Limited. The item I have selected from the Warehouse Group Limited's financial statements is inventory. Being a retail-based company, inventory is an important item as predominantly most of the Warehouse Group's revenue is made based off selling this inventory through their various brands. Inventory has a significant balance on the financial statements as it represents 18% of the total assets and 38% of the current assets, with a value of $393,610,000. Inventory is the second largest asset for the Warehouse Group. Inventory comes with a risk of material misstatement from things such as obsolescence, the large amount of items contained in their inventory, and judgments and estimates from the inventory provision. The component of inventory called the inventory provision provides a risk as it relies on judgments of management's expectations of future sales levels and estimations of selling price adjustments, which could lead to material misstatement if not made on reasonable grounds. This is important considering that the inventory provision increased by $13 million in 2020 due to the changing economic conditions from COVID-19. Now I will discuss our general audit procedures. From our previous assessment, the inherent risk associated with inventory is high, with a low control risk from controls such as stock takes and cycle counts. We also decided that the detection risk and audit risk was medium. From this assessment, we will need to collect a moderate amount of evidence. Therefore, we will take a lower assessed level of control risk approach. Even though we assess the control risk is low, we will do substantive procedures, specifically tests of details of balances, because of the significance of the inventory balance. From the general audit procedures, I will now discuss 3 specific audit procedures we can conduct. The first procedure we can do is observe the Warehouse Group stock take. By observing the stock take, this is doing a test of details of balances for the account of inventory. Considering our detection risk is low and that the stock take is a control, we could observe the stock take before the end of the reporting period. Observing the stock take and the inventory cycle counts would provide evidence of the existence assertion. This would prove that all the inventory actually exists and is not overstated. The next procedure we will undertake is related to the assertion of rights and obligations. The Warehouse Group purchases most of its inventory from overseas. Therefore, these goods in transit are recognized when the title of goods is passed on to the group. The Warehouse Group has controls in place around this. However, we will examine and inspect the documents relevant to these inventory purchases and shipping, such as the bill of lading, to confirm that these controls are working. This is a test of controls done to ensure that the Warehouse Group actually has the right to the economic benefits from this inventory by giving evidence as to whether the group has title to the goods. To do this, we will take a moderate-sized sample of these documents to test at the end of the financial period. Another procedure we will conduct is performing pricing tests on the closing inventory and the associated closing inventory provision. The substantive procedure of tests of details of balances will confirm the assertion of accuracy, valuation, and allocation. This will ensure that the inventory is recorded at an accurate amount and that all valuations and allocation adjustments, such as the inventory provision, have been recorded appropriately and as accurately as possible. This test of details of balances is extremely important here, as a major component of inventory is the inventory provision, which relies on estimates and judgments of management. In summary, inventory is important to the Warehouse Group because of its large value in the financial statements and the risk of material misstatement associated with inventory, from things such as obsolescence, the large amount of items contained in their inventory, and judgments and estimates. The audit procedures we will use are tests of controls, such as examining relevant documents of the inventory. We will also use substantive procedures, specifically tests of details of balances, such as performing pricing tests on closing inventory and observing stock takes. And this last slide here is a list of references I have used in my presentation.